The Commissioner of Baseball, Louis Kuhn, is here with his staff this afternoon. The President of the National League is on hand as well. The Mets won yesterday by a score of 9-5 and a somewhat loosely played but exciting baseball game. Starting pitchers here today for the Atlanta Braves. It is Ron Reed with a record of 18 wins and 10 losses. For the New York Mets, it is Jerry Koosman with a record of 17 victories and 9 losses. Now the color guard is marched onto the field. The United States Army Band is on the field. Here's Ralph Kiner.
All right, Lindsey Nelson, and we have a beautiful day for baseball here. And Chief Nakahoma, the mascot of the Braves, coming out of the dugout doing his war dance on the mound. And he goes into a prayer position and then takes off for his CP out in left field. And now the Atlanta Braves take the field. The Atlanta Braves taking the field, and their catcher, Bob Didier, taking his place back of home plate, getting set to take the warm-up pitches of the pitcher, starting pitcher Ron Reed. Now throwing out the first ball today, Mrs. Martin Luther King Jr. And she overthrows the catcher Bob Didier with a strong throw. And the official procedure is going to be repeated again for the photographers. Actually, not bad at all, just the ball returned to Mrs. Martin Luther King, Jr. The starting lineups for this ball game for the New York Mets. Tommy Agee will lead off and play center field. Batting second, playing third base, Wayne Garrett. Batting third in left field, Cleon Jones. Batting fourth in right field, Art Shamsky. Batting fifth at second base, Ken Boswell. Batting sixth, playing first base, Ed Kranepool. Batting seventh and catching, Jerry Grody. Batting eighth at shortstop, Bud Harrelson. And the pitcher, Jerry Koosman, batting ninth. Mets going with the same lineup that saw them win 9-5 in the first game of this series, with the exception of their pitcher. For the Atlanta Braves, the leadoff batter will be the second baseman Felix Millan. Batting second and playing center field, Tony Gonzalez. Batting third in right field, Hank Aaron. Batting fourth in left field, Rico Carty. Batting fifth at first base, Orlando Cepeda. Batting sixth at third base, Clete Boyer. Batting seventh, the catcher Bob Didier. Batting eighth at shortstop, Gil Garrido. And the pitcher Ron Reed, batting ninth. Atlanta Braves not changing their lineup with the exception of the pitcher as they take on the Mets in the second game. Now Tommy Agee in the batter's box, and here for the play-by-play, Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ralph Cannon. Hello again, everybody. Tommy Agee, right-hand batter up to lead off, facing Ron Reed, who during the regular season won 18 and lost 10, and the first pitch is in for a called strike. Ron Reed, 6 feet 6 inches tall, 215-pounder, played his college baseball at Notre Dame and was a professional basketball player in the National Basketball Association with the Detroit Pistons. Swinging a ground ball. That's going through into right field for a Tommy Agee base hit. Up with it is Aaron. He plays it back. Agee turns and holds, and the New York Mets have a leadoff base runner here in the top half of the first inning in Atlanta, Georgia. Agee starting the day with a batting average of, well, in the regular season he hit 271, and yesterday he went 0 for 5. Wayne Garrett coming up now. Garrett during the regular season hit 218, and yesterday he was 2 for 4. He was drafted by the New York Mets before the start of this season from the Atlanta Braves minor league organization. Left-hand batter. Here is the pitch to Wayne Garrett. It's taken high. He was not squaring to sacrifice in any manner. The umpire behind the plate is Augie Donatelli. Ed Sudol is the umpire at first. Ed Vargo is at second. Chris Pellicudis at third. Mel Steiner down the left field line, and Al Barlick down the right field line. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for a ball. 2-0 to Wayne Garrett. On the coaching lines for the New York Mets, Eddie Yost is at third, and Yogi Berra is on the lines at first. It's bright and sunny here in Atlanta, Georgia. Temperature about a half hour ago was 72 degrees. Here is a pitch that is high for a ball. It goes 3-0 to Garrett. There's a wind officially gauged at 13 miles per hour that is blowing in from center field. The wind could be a factor in this ball game. It's blowing strong enough to affect fly balls. Cleon Jones is waiting on deck. Here's a pitch that's outside. Garrett walks on 4 pitches. Agee moves to second. Garrett goes to first, and Cleon Jones is coming up. Cleon Jones, during the season, batted .340. He was the number 3 batter in the National League. Yesterday, he was 1 for 5 and batted in a run to the conference at the mound for Atlanta. As you know, his championship series moves tomorrow to New York to Shea Stadium, and reserved and box seats for those games are on sale today at the advanced ticket window near Gate D at Shea Stadium. The window will remain open until 7 p.m. tonight. Tickets must be purchased in strips of 3 games. The advanced ticket windows will open Monday at 8 a.m. when any remaining seats go on sale. Now here's the pitch to Cleon Jones, and it's low for a ball. Left-hander Paul Doyle is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the Atlanta Braves here in the first inning. Paul Doyle throwing in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. Against the Mets this year, Ron Reed won 2 and lost 1. His lifetime record against the Mets is 4 wins and 1 loss. That pitch is low, and he goes behind 2-0 now to Cleon Jones. Waiting on deck is Art Shamsky. This broadcast of the Championship Series game between the Mets and the Braves is being picked up today by the American Forces Network and beam round the world. So from all of us here in Atlanta, Georgia, a salute to servicemen round the world. Runners lead at first and second. Here is the pitch. It's high, rocked him back. Ron Reed goes behind 3-0 now to Cleon Jones. So you'd guess he'll be taking a pitch with runners first and second, nobody out. And Reed having a little difficulty here in the top half of the first inning finding the plate. It is not an absolutely full ballpark at this moment. There are some empty seats still around. But there are fans standing beyond the fence in right field. Here's a pitch. In for a called strike. He was taking all the way. So it's 3-1 to Cleon Jones. Big Ron Reed now bends forward, placing his hands on his knees. He sets up his runner's lead, and now a pickoff attempt at second, and Agee goes to third, and he is safe at third base, going in head first. Agee gets the stolen base as he went in head first underneath the tag of Boya. Moving up also was Garrett from first to second. It's a double steal. A double steal. A pickoff attempt up at second base. And Agee simply darted for third, and when the throw went over there, Garrett darted for second. A double steal. Jones steps out at the plate. The count to him is still 3-1. The Mets now have runners in scoring position, and the Atlanta Braves bring the infield up halfway. They had him up tight, and now they have shortstop Gil Garrido retreating. They moved the second baseman, Felix Millan, back a step or two also. They're about halfway. Here's a pitch low, and Jones walks. The bases are loaded with nobody out, and Shamsky coming up. Here comes Lewin Harris, the manager of the Atlanta Braves, to the mound to talk to his pitcher. Shamsky, during the regular season, batted an even .300. Yesterday, Shamsky was 3 for 4. May we remind you again that games of the Championship Series are scheduled for Shea Stadium Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Reserved and box seats for those playoff games are on sale today at the advanced ticket window near Gate D at Shea Stadium. The windows will remain open until 7 p.m. tonight. Tickets must be purchased in strips of 3 games. The advanced ticket window will open Monday at 8 a.m. when any remaining seats go on sale. Lewin Harris now has returned to the dugout of the Atlanta Braves. Shamsky's in with the bases loaded. There's no score in the game. Ron Reed works straight away to Shamsky. It's swung on and missed. Strike 1. The Atlanta Braves have Orlando Cepeda playing first base, Felix Millan at second, Gil Garrido at short, and Clete Boyer at third. Rico Cardian left, Tony Gonzalez in center, and Henry Aaron in right. Shortstop, second baseman, a double play up. Here's the pitch, change up, and it's low. It's blocked by the catcher, Bob Didier. Rolls out in front of the plate. No chance for any runner to advance. The count to Shamsky is even at 1-1, and Ken Boswell is on deck. At first base, Orlando Cepeda is in front of the runner, Cleon Jones. At third base, Clete Boyers on the edge of the infield grass. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. It's 1-2 now to Art Shamsky. Big Ron Reed, who won 18 games and was red hot down the stretch for the Atlanta Braves, trying to pitch himself out of difficulty here now. The outfield shaded around, playing Shamsky to pull the baseball. Met runners lead first, second, and third. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. So Ron Reed strikes out Shamsky. Runners holding, still loaded, and Ken Boswell comes up. Boswell is hitting .279, or did for the regular season. Yesterday he went 0 for 3. He's a left-hand batter. Gil Hodges again today, starting his, what he calls his left-handed batting order. That leaves him a bench that includes Don Clendenon and Ron Swoboda, in case the Atlanta Braves should switch off to a left-hand relief pitcher at any time. Here's the pitch to Boswell. Swung on and missed, strike one. So Ron Reed, who had difficulty finding the plate early in the ballgame, seems to have regained his control suddenly here. He struck out Shamsky, and he's gone ahead of Boswell. Agee at third, Garrett at second, Jones at first. Here's the pitch. Outside. It's 1-1. The official temperature at game time, 73 degrees here in Atlanta, Georgia. It was 86 degrees yesterday at game time. Reed is working straight away. Now the pitch. And it's in for a call, strike two. 1-2 to Boswell with Cranepool waiting on deck. The Mets had him loaded up with nobody out. With one away now, the count's gone 1-2 to Ken Boswell. And the pitch. Swung on and missed, struck him out. So Ron Reed has struck out Shamsky, struck out Boswell. Cranepool is coming up. During the regular season, Cranepool batted .238. Yesterday, he was 1 for 4. So Ron Reed is on the verge of pitching himself out of a deep, deep hole here in Atlanta Stadium. The Atlanta Braves set up defensively, playing him to pull the ball. The infield dropped back to normal depth all around, of course, with 2 men out. Here's Ron Reed's pitch. Swung on, hammered on the ground to second. A high hopper taken by Millan and dropped. No play and a run scores. Millan had the high hop up about chest high and simply dropped it. And so Cranepool legged it on out and it scored as a base hit. That means, in the opinion of the official scorer, that had Millan played it cleanly, that he would not have been able to get Cranepool at first. Well, that's the opinion of the official scorer, and the Mets lead by a score of 1-0, and accordingly it's a run batted in for Ed Cranepool. It was directly at Millan, up about chest high, and he dropped it at his feet. Agee scored, the bases are still loaded, and Jerry Grody's up. And the pitch is low for a ball to Grody. During the National League season, he hit .252. Yesterday, he was 1 for 3 and had 1 run batted in. Grody's a right-hand batter. The books are closed. The statistics for the regular National League season, the statistics for the championship series are separate and apart. That pitch is high for a ball. It's 2-0. In other words, yesterday's stats do not go into the season stats. The Mets are out front by a score of 1-0 and looking for more here. Counts 2-0 to Grody with Bud Harrelson on deck. Grody's the 7th man to come up in the first inning. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Big Ron Reed really unfolds like a deck chair falling apart when he comes through with that delivery. 6 feet 6 inches tall. Grody has called time, gone over to get a little pine tar on the handle of the bat. There has been a specially constructed box placed down by the dugout of the Mets and behind the on-deck circle for members of the official family of the New York Mets. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's high for a ball, 3-1. Mr. and Mrs. Charles Shipman Payson are there. Mrs. Payson, the principal owner of the New York Mets. Mr. and Mrs. M. Donald Grant are there. He's the chairman of the board. Mr. and Mrs. John Murphy, he is the general manager of the New York Mets. Other members of the official family. Here's a 3-1 delivery, and it's swung on and fouled back out of play. The count runs full at 3-2. Milt Pappas has joined Paul Doyle in the bullpen now for the Atlanta Braves. With 2 men out and the count 3-2 to Grody, it means that the runners at first, second, and third will be going on the pitch. Wayne Garrett at third, Cleon Jones at second, and Ed Cranepool at first will be in motion on the delivery. From the dugout now, word to Ron Reed to work off the stretch to try to hold those runners as close as possible. He sets up off the stretch. Runners go. Here's the pitch. And he's out of there on strike. All out on strike. The side is retired as Reed got 3 strikeouts. The Mets got 1 run on 2 hits. There were 2 walks, 2 stolen bases, no errors, and 3 left. In the middle of the first inning, the score is the Mets 1 and the Atlanta Braves coming to bat.
Wally Cox for Canada Dry with news of a real refreshment breakthrough. It's new Sport Cola, the new kind of cola, 99% caffeine-free. It happened this way. We thought about you parents who may not want your kids to have caffeine, or who even avoid it yourselves. And we asked the question, what does the caffeine ingredient do for a good, healthy thirst? The answer, practically nothing. Then our Canada Dry flavor masters went to work and created cola. A rich, refreshing, full-flavored cola. A clean-tasting cola that does nice cola things for your thirst and does them without added caffeine. We are quite pleased. Try Sport Cola, the new kind of cola. 99% caffeine-free. Sport Cola.
Well, Ron Reed pitched himself out of what might have been terrible difficulty there in the first inning when he struck out 3 batters after having seen the bases loaded with nobody out. In the meanwhile, the Mets got 1 run, and so now Jerry Koosman has been posted to a 1-run lead. He's on the mound right now taking his warm-up tosses. Koosman during the regular season won 17 games and he lost 9. Against the Braves, he won 1 and he lost none. His lifetime record against the Braves is 2 wins and 3 losses. He picked up a cold when the Mets were last in Montreal. He started taking antibiotics a week ago Wednesday in Chicago when he made his last appearance and was somewhat ineffective in that appearance. We were talking to him just moments ago. He said that he is 90% better than he was in Chicago, that he still has some of the effects of the cold, but that he feels much, much better. Going to the bottom half of the 8th inning in the American League Championship Series, Minnesota nothing, Baltimore nothing. Dave Boswell against Dave McNally. Felix Millan, a right-hand batter, is up to lead off now for the Atlanta Braves. 267 during the regular season, 2 for 5 yesterday, and Koosman's pitch is low for a ball. Koosman is a left-hander. On the coaching line, Jim Busby at third base and Billy Goodman at first. The Atlanta fans start rhythmic applause here in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's a pitch high, another fastball. So Koosman goes behind 2-0 to Millan with Tony Gonzalez on deck. Koosman offers 2-0. Inside, he's gone behind 3-0 now to Millan. Koosman has won his last 5 decisions. He has won 8 of his last 9. Here's a pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. It's 3-1 to Felix Millan. The Mets with Ed Cranepool at first, Ken Boswell at second, Bud Harrelson at short, Wayne Garrett at third. Here's a 3-1 delivery. And it's high, he walked it. So it doesn't take the Atlanta Braves long to get the tying run on at first with nobody out and Tony Gonzalez coming up. Now Gonzalez is a left-hand batter who has been red hot since replacing Felipe Alou in center field in July. And Alou cracked a right finger. Luman Harris had toyed with the idea of starting Alou today, a right-hand batter, but decided that he'd stay with the man who has done so well for him of late, Gonzalez, who yesterday was 2 for 5, including a home run, had 2 runs batted in, and during the regular season hit .269 with 12 homers. Koosman sets up. Deals to Gonzalez, and it's in there for a called strike. On deck is Henry Aaron. Granville is holding against the runner, Felix Millan at first base, as Gonzalez steps back out of the batter's box, and umpire Augie Donatelli calls time. The outfield alignment for the Mets: Cleon Jones in left, Tommy Agee in center, Art Shamsky in right. Koosman's pitch, low and away for a ball. It's 1-1 now to Gonzalez. The Mets leading 1-0. Atlanta batting in the bottom half of the first inning. Millan leads at first base, and here's the pitch. In there for a call, strike two. It's 1-2. Koosman hailing from Appleton, Minnesota. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just missed outside, a little high. It's 2-2. Although he told me last year that he once worked here in Georgia over the course of a winter for the Georgia Power and Light Company, he said he worked as a grunt. This will be a 2-2 delivery. And it's low, so it's 3-2. We asked Koosman what a grunt was. He said, well, you know what a grip is? Among stagehands, he's a fellow who handles the equipment. And so a grunt is a fellow who handles the equipment up to the lineman up on the pole. So he isn't exactly a foreigner here in the state of Georgia. Millan takes his lead at first. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and it's in there for a call, strike three. Gonzalez caught looking. Millan holds it first. First strikeout for Koosman, and Henry Aaron is coming up. One of baseball's superstars. Aaron hit an even 300 during the season. He had 44 home runs. Yesterday he had a home run, and he was 2 for 5. He batted in 2 runs yesterday. Mets are leading 1-0. Atlanta batting in the bottom of the first. Atlanta Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The Atlanta Braves, winners in the West, 193 ball game. Swung it on the ground to short as Helson over to Boswell. The relay to first, and a double play. 6-4-3, and the side is retired as the Mets double up Henry Aaron. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, and none left. That's the end of an inning. The score is the Mets 1 and the Atlanta Braves nothing. We'll go now to the second inning. Before we do, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is New York Mets Baseball on WKAJ-FM 102.3, Saratoga Springs, New York.
With a swing and a line drive to left, taken by Rico Carty for the out, and there's one away here in the top half of the second inning. On the first pitch by Ron Reed in the second inning to Bud Harrelson, he lined it into left for the out. This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Atlanta Stadium, the second game of the National League Championship Series, best 3 of 5. And now Jerry Koosman is coming up. Harrelson, by the way, during the regular season batted .248. Yesterday he was 1 for 3 and 2 runs batted in. Koosman was 4 for 84. He had 1 run batted in, .048. He's a right-hand batter. Here is Ron Reed with a delivery. Fouled off to the right side, out of play. It's strike one. Tommy Agee has moved up on deck now. Coming to the ballpark today, the New York Mets took a different route from yesterday. Here's a swing and a miss. Yesterday, the driver, for some inexplicable reason, brought them through the downtown area to the ballpark, a route that they had never taken before during any regular season. Today, they came the normal way directly to the ballpark. Outside for a ball, and again today, Casey Stengel rode in the front seat on the left side next to manager Gil Hodges, just as he did yesterday. Ron Reed takes a sign from catcher Bob Didier. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low for a ball. As you know, Casey Stengel resides in Glendale, California, and when the bus driver appeared to be lost yesterday, Tom Seaver said, I think it's Casey's fault. And Casey said, yes, I left my ticket at home, and I asked the driver if he'd mind going by Glendale. 1-2 delivery, and it's outside. Reed goes full at 3-2 to Koosman. They shade him around toward right, figuring he won't be able to get around on the pitch of Ron Reed. This will be a payoff pitch. It's on the way. He walked him. Koosman gets a light. That is the third walk issued by Ron Reed. Gives the Mets a base runner with one man out and brings up Tommy Agee. The Mets are leading in this game by a score of 1-0. We're in the top half of the second inning. The Mets won yesterday by a score of 9-5. Tom Seaver was credited with the win. Ron Taylor was credited with the save. And Phil Necro was charged with yesterday's loss. Off the stretch now. Here's Ron Reed's delivery, and it's foul back, out of play. Paul Doyle gets up to throw again in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. Left-hander Paul Doyle. Count of strike one to Agee at the plate with Garrett waiting on deck. Pitch to Agee, and it's high for a ball. 1-1. Say, for the finest products on the road, drive them to Citgo. It's a nice place to visit. The Mets and the Braves at Shea Stadium in New York tomorrow. Game time, 1 o'clock. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Change up, and it's hit way out into left field, way back, going. It's into the home run for Agee, up into the seats in left on a change-up pitch. A two-run homer as Koosman comes around to score. Agee coming around behind him. Agee, during the National League season, hit 26 home runs to lead the Mets in that department. He's getting a handshake at home plate from Koosman, who is posted to a 3-0 lead now. The first time yesterday that Tom Seaver went to a changeup, Rico Carty hopped on it for a double. And here today, the first changeup thrown by Ron Reed is belted into the seats and left. Garrett's up, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Here's a pitch to Garrett in for a called strike. Agee's last homer of the regular season was September 8th against Bill Hands of the Chicago Cubs. Pitch to the left-hand batter, Garrett. Swung on and fouled off to the left side, out of play. It's 1-2. Wayne Garrett, 21 years of age. Red-headed. Sometimes called rusty, but not often. Cleon Jones is waiting on deck. Here's a 1-2 delivery, and it's outside for a ball. It's 2-2. Paul Doyle continues to throw in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on it on the ground, back to the mound, taken bare-handed by Reed, and he plays to Cepeda inside. He took that with his bare pitching hand. 2 away. Nobody on base, and Cleon Jones is coming up. Cleon's been up one time, and he drew a walk. 1 for 5 yesterday. The World Series between the winner of the Championship Series in the National League and the winner of the Championship Series in the American League will start next Saturday, October 11th. It'll start in the American League city. Minnesota or Baltimore. They're still scoreless, by the way, going to the bottom of the ninth in Baltimore this afternoon. In 12 innings yesterday, the Baltimore Orioles won it. Here's a swing and a foul ball off to the right side and out of play. It is strike one. Art Shamsky is on deck. Here's the strike one delivery. Swung on line into left, and Carty comes over to try to grab it and can't. It's on by him, and Jones is around first. He'll try for 2. Carty can't throw, and Jones goes in standing up. Rico Carty, because of 4 shoulder separations, has a great deal of difficulty throwing. And so he tried to shoestring that when it bounded off his glove and shin on by him, and when he recovered, he just tossed in to Gil Garrido, and it scored as a double. Art Shamsky's up now with Jones at second base, 2 men out. The Mets are leading by a score of 3-0, and they threaten again. Reed with a pitch to Shamsky. Foul off, and it's strike one. Reed struck Shamsky out with the bases loaded in the first inning. That was something of a feat. Shamsky is a fellow who is difficult to strike out. He usually gets some part of the ball. Strike one delivery. And it's in for a call. Strike two. So Ron Reed now has gone ahead of Shamsky again with 2 men out and a runner at second. Now the pitch, and it's high and away. It's a breaking pitch. It's 1-2. Ken Boswell next in the order for the Mets. Reed looks into Bob Didier to get a sign, but Shamsky is not yet in the batter's box. Now he comes in, measures his stance, tapping the far corner of the plate. Jones leads at second base, and here's the 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, wide of first, and on into right field, and Jones is coming home. Henry Aaron up and throwing, and it's wide of the plate on by. Going to second is Shamsky. The ball is off the VIP box, and Shamsky's on his way to third. He is awarded third base because Gil Garrido made contact. Gil Garrido made contact at shortstop. Shamsky is awarded third base. He stopped because he lost his helmet and his cap at second. Eddie Yost is going out to retrieve them. Third base is awarded because of the interference of the shortstop, Gil Garrido. An error charged against right fielder Henry Aaron on the wide throw. Jones did score on the play. So the Mets have a runner at third, 2 men out, and the Mets lead by a score of 4-0. Luman Harris has gone to the mound, and that's all for Ron Reed. A pitching change is being made. Paul Doyle, a left-hander, is coming in. Give Shamsky a single to right. It was on the ground between first baseman Orlando Cepeda and second baseman Felix Millan. Both got very close to it. Neither could get it. And so Jones rounded third and came in. Aaron came up with the ball and made a useless throw. It was halfway up the line to third, was over the head of the catcher, hit the VIP box, rolled aside, and then Gil Garrido obstructed Art Shamsky, and so Garrido is in turn charged with an error, allowing Shamsky to go to third. And so there are 2 errors charged on the play, and Paul Doyle is coming in to make his 37th game appearance of this season. Doyle has a record of 2 wins and no losses, and earned run average of 2.08. Against the New York Mets, he pitched 5 innings with no one-loss record, but had an earned run average of 1.80. Ron Reed has gone out of the ball game now.
Number 45.
He has been credited with 1 2/3 innings. Charged with 4 runs on 5 hits, struck out 3 and walked 3, left-hander. Paul Doyle is in to do the pitching. Doyle's last time out, he worked at Los Angeles against the Dodgers for 1 inning, allowed no runs, no hits. He's taking his warm-up pitches now. That gives us a chance to tell you that reserve and box seats for the remaining games of the Championship Series in New York are on sale today at the advanced ticket window near Gate D at Shea Stadium. The windows will remain open until 7 p.m. tonight. Tickets must be purchased in strips of 3 games. The advanced ticket window will open Monday at 8 a.m. when any remaining seats go on sale. So if you're driving around the area of Queens and want to stop by the advanced ticket window, it'll be open until 7 p.m. tonight. Now Boswell comes to the plate. 2 men out. Shamsky's the runner at third. Boswell's been up 1 time and he struck out with the bases loaded. Here's a pitch at 10 for a call strike. Doyle comes somewhat sidearm, which makes it even more difficult for a left-hand batter. Although Boswell has a reputation of being able to hang in there pretty well against the southpaws. Now the pitch, and it's on away for a ball. It's 1-1. Ed Cranepool is on deck. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-0. This pitch is turned inside. Milt Pappas throwing in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. Right-hander Milt Pappas is up now and throwing for the Braves. The Mets have taken a 4-0 lead here in the top half of the second inning. They threatened to score in bunches in the first inning, but got only one. Left 3 men on base. Here's a swing and a miss. It's 2-2 to Boswell. Shamsky at third with 2 men out. Now Doyle walks down, smooths out the dirt where he's been striding out there on the mound. And a 2-2 pitch. Inside low, it's full at 3-2 to Boswell. The Braves have brought in a left-hander. Now Gil Hodges has his bench loaded with right-hand hitting power, but he's not likely to make any moves as long as the Mets maintain a lead such as they have here of 4-0. There's a swing and a ground ball. That is foul. Back of the bag at first on down the right field line. So it'll bring Boswell back with a 3-2 count. A great many representatives of the media covering this championship series as expected. Radio, television, newspapers, magazines. A battery of photographers. There are photographers' bullpens on either side of the plate, back near the dugouts. Paul Doyle into the motion. Payoff pitch to Boswell. Swung on and missed, struck him out. So the side is retired as the New York Mets picked up 3 runs. On 3 hits, there were 2 errors and 1 left. In the middle of the second inning, the score is the Mets 4, the Braves nothing.
Shop the Jamesway Discount Store. Shop the Jamesway Discount Store. Values time and time again.
Hurry to Jamesway. Doorbuster days are going on. Johnson Pledge at 88 cents. Pierce earring jewelry boxes for 97 cents, a regular $1.58 value. Men's insulated pack boots at $4. Men's flannel shirts just $1, sizes small, medium, and large. Full-fashion cardigans, $2. Delicious turnouts in fine 12-gauge acrylic knit, sizes 34 to 40. Girls' dresses, $1, $2, and $3, sizes 4 to 14. The regular price, $3.97. And pink lotion detergent, 4 bottles for $1. New soft formula. Yes, it really pays to shop at the Jamesway Discount Department Store in the West Hill Shopping Plaza. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 until 10.
Ended October 3rd. All prizes must be claimed before November 2nd. The Atlanta Braves will be coming up here now in the bottom half of the second inning. And it'll be Rico Carty to face Jerry Koosman. In the first inning, Millan drew a leadoff walk, but then Gonzalez struck out and Henry Aaron bounced into a double play. Koosman with a record over the regular season of 17 wins and 9 losses. Was out for about a month with shoulder trouble. Last year he was a 19-game winner. Rico Carty. Batted .342 during the regular season, 1 for 3 yesterday. He's a right-hand power hitter. And it's low for a ball. Orlando Cepeda is moving out to the on-deck circle now for the Atlanta Braves. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Bill Shea, the man for whom Shea Stadium in New York is named, has been here for this entire championship series. 1-1 delivery, and it swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Carty has the bat cocked. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Wayne Garrett gets the big hop. He goes across the diamond to Cranepool in time to get Carty. At this time last year, Rico Carty was in a sanitarium in Florida with tuberculosis. Met manager Gil Hodges was in a hospital in Atlanta with a heart attack. 1 year later, they're in the championship series. Here's Orlando Cepeda coming up with one away. Orlando Orlando Cepeda hit .247 during the regular National League season. He was 1 for 4 yesterday, right-hand batter, and Koosman pitches in for a called strike. Cepeda with the St. Louis Cardinals came to the Atlanta Braves in exchange for Joe Torre. Deal was consummated on March 17th, this past spring. Here's a swing and a miss. It was just after a proposed deal between the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves, which would have sent Torre to New York, had fallen through. Later the same day, the same night, that is, the deal was made for Cepeda. This pitch is in for a call, strike 3. Cepeda is out on 3 pitches. Koosman with his second strikeout. 2 Braves out in the second inning. The Mets are leading 4-0, and Clete Boyer is coming up. Clete Boyer, a former New York Yankee, hit .249 during the year, 14 homers, 57 runs batted in. He was 0 for 1 officially yesterday, walked a couple of times. The Mets pitched around him. He batted in 1 run. He came up in circumstances where he could do some damage. Here's a swing and a miss for strike 1. His older brother, Ken Boyer, yesterday took the job as manager of the Little Rock team in the St. Louis Cardinal organization for next season. Here's a pitch low for a ball, 1-1. Ken Boyer, of course, at one time, most valuable player in the National League as captain of the St. Louis Cardinals. And Ken later played with the New York Mets. Clete played with the New York Yankees and then was traded to these Atlanta Braves. Here's a 1-1 pitch, and it's hit deep to left field, way back toward the wall. Jones is there, leaps and makes the catch. He's out as Jones made a leaping catch back against the wall and left across the warning track. So the side is retired with no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 2 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 4, Atlanta nothing.
Go international now and save at Natal Ramblers' once-a-year clearance sale of International Scouts, pickups, and travelalls. See the new Scout, International's fun-loving workhorse. Test drive the rugged, dependable International pickup. 83 new improvements this year. Drive the new International Travelall, the super wagon that sleeps 3, rides 9, and responds with brute power to tote more than any other wagon on the road. Special seasonal savings on many luxury options, too. Go for International's best-of-the-year prices and bring home a working playmate today from Natal Ramblers, South Broadway in Saratoga Springs.
The official scorers for the championship series are Jack Lang of the Long Island Press and Wayne Minshew of the Atlanta Constitution. They've made a change. They have taken away the error charged against Gil Garrido for obstruction of Shamsky in the second inning. In their opinion, the obstruction did not give him an additional base. He would have made it anyway. So if you're keeping score, delete the error. There was only one error. That charged against Aaron in the second inning. Obstruction still was the cause of the base being awarded, but the scoring rules say do not charge the error unless an extra base occurred. In the opinion of the scorers, such was not the case, so they have deleted the error. We're going to the third. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-0. Here's Ralph Kiner.
All right, Lindsey Nelson, run that by one more time, will you? Hi, everyone, and Ed Kranepool, the first batter, takes the first pitch. It's ball 1. Ed batting for the second time. He got a base hit his first time up and drove in the Mets' first run. It was a bad hot base hit off the glove of the second baseman, Mian. Now the pitch back by left-hander Paul Doyle, and outside ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Paul Doyle relieving Ron Reed, who was in the ball game 1 2/3 innings. Reed being charged with 4 runs on 5 hits, struck out 3 and walked 3. Now Kranepool taking a fastball that's in over the inside corner, about letter high. Ed did not like the call. 2 balls, 1 strike. Augie Donatelli, the home plate umpire. They're using 6 umpires in this ball game, playing it as a World Series. Now a curve low, and it's 3-1. Ed Sudol, the umpire at first. Ed Vargel, the umpire at second. Chris Pellicudis, the umpire at third. Down the left field line, 4 home runs and fair foul balls. Mel Steiner. Down the right field line, Al Barley. Pitch back, a fastball that's in, and the count now 3-2. On deck batter Jerry Grody. Mets leading 4-0. Now Doyle into the windup, and the left-hander's 3-2 pitch. In there, a call, strike 3. So Paul Doyle has pitched to 2 batters and struck them both out. Came in to stop the Mets rally in the second, striking out Ken Boswell with a runner at third. And now starting off the third inning with a strikeout of Ed Craneful. Jerry Grody, the next batter, he struck out in a 3-2 pitch his first time up. And the pitch is on its way, and it's grounded out to the second baseman, Meon, who takes a high hopper, fires to first base. The ball is dropped by Orlando Cepeda. Orlando Cepeda gets an error on the play, and the Mets have a base runner. So Grody on at first base, and the batter coming up, Bud Harrelson, the shortstop. Bud, his first time up, batting left-handed. Hit a hard smash on his first pitch to left field. It was caught by Carty. Paul Doyle checking out the signs. His catcher, Bob Didier. Grody at first. Here's the pitch. He does not go. The ball is lined hard down the left field line. A base hit, extra bases. Grody comes to third base. He's being waved in. The ball is relayed to Garrido, the shortstop. His throw to the plate is not in time. And the Mets have a run on the double by Bud Harrelson. And the Mets again taking advantage of the throwing arm of Rico Carty. Carty has dislocated his shoulder 4 times this year and is unable to throw. Harrelson with a hard smash down the left field line. And he gets an RBI. In the first ball game, Bud Harrelson tripled down the right field line to drive in 2 runs in the 4th inning of the ball game. At that point, it put the Mets in front by a score of 4-3. Right here, the Mets now leading 5-0, and the batter coming up is Jerry Koosman. And the first pitch to Koosman is swung on a miss, strike 1. One strike count. Koosman walked his first time up and rode home aboard a home run by Tommy Agee. Now the 1-strike pitch. Breaking ball high, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch back is called a strike, and the count 1-2. Bud Harrelson had 2 triples batting right-handed in the regular season and 4 batting left-handed. One ball, 2 strikes. Paul Doyle set, checks at second, and the pitch. Curveball low, 2-2. Koosman in the regular season had 4 hits. He was up 84 times. He drove in 1 run and won him a ball game 1-0. It was against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now the 2-2 pitch. It's in for a call, strike 3. So the Braves get their second out here in the third. And it brings up Tommy Agee, who has a single and a home run and 2 times up. And we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network. This is WKAJ-FM, Saratoga Springs, New York. 102.3 on your FM dial, the home of the New York Mets. Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy. And now with Agee batting first base open, they're going to put him on. Here's the first pitch outside a ball, and now the next ball, 2. First base is open. The batter is a left-hand batter. Tommy Agee, now ball 3. Wayne Garrett. So the left-hander is going to take his chances with Wayne Garrett. And there's ball 4, and Tommy Agee walks. So Tommy has been up in the first 3 innings 3 times and has been on base every time. A single and a home run. 2 runs scored and 2 runs driven in. He also has a stolen base. Wayne Garrett has walked and grounded back to the pitcher. And the first pitch to the left-hand batter swung on a miss, strike 1. Baltimore did not score in the bottom of the 10th inning, so a scoreless ball game with Minnesota batting in the top of the 11th inning. Baltimore won the first game yesterday. This one, no score. Now Doyle sets, runners at first and second, 2 men out, top of the third, and the pitch back, a curve outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets have had 5 runs on 6 hits. They also have received 4 walks. Now Doyle again sets. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's high, ball 2. 2-1. The on-deck batter for the Mets, Cleon Jones. Doyle back at 2-1 to Wayne Garrett, and the curve is looked at for a called strike. Garrett pulling away from the ball, and the count 2-2. Wayne Garrett was drafted from the Atlanta Braves out of their minor league farm system by the Mets, their only draft choice in the December draft. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Hit hard through the middle, a base hit into center field. Bud Harrelson comes in to score. Going to third is Agee, and the Mets lead it by a 6-0 score as Harrelson crosses the plate. And here comes the pitching coach out to take out the pitcher, Harry Dorish, the pitching coach of the Atlanta Braves, who used to pitch for the Chicago White Sox. And the sign has gone out for Milt Pappas to come in the ball game. So it's a 6-0 ball game. Runners at first and third. And the batter for the Mets will be Cleon Jones. Pappas last appeared on the mound against San Diego on September 19th. He went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, allowed 3 runs, and was not involved in the decision. Ball game won by Atlanta by a score 12-3. Now time is being called right now as some fans spilling out on the outer field area in the home run territory beyond the fence are being moved away from center field. Center field area blocked off for better viewing by the hitters at their request and safety. Cleon Jones now stepping up. Cleon doubled his last time up and scored a run. He also walked, so he has been on 2 times in his 2 appearances. Milt Pappas started his career with the Baltimore Orioles. Was traded to Cincinnati for Frank Robinson. Now pitching for the Atlanta Braves. Now Cleon getting in the batter's box. Pappas says he's ready to go. Cleon had a base hit in the first ball game. He was 1 for 5. Now batting with runners at first and third. In the first pitch, a breaking ball, a slider low, and it's ball 1. Mets leading 6-0. 2 runs in here in the third to make it 6. 2 men out. Now Pappas sets up, and the pitch. Breaking ball over, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Pappas throws a slider, a good sinker, and a curve. He has a fine slider and also has a fine sinker and uses those 2 pitches for his bread and butter. 1-1 pitch is hit foul into the stands on the first base side. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jones batted an even .340 for the season. All-time high for a Met ball player by a considerable margin. The old record was .306, set back in 1962 by Richie Ashburn. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Pappas retires his side. But in the inning, the Mets score 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 error, and 2 men left on. And the score in the middle of the third, the Mets 6, the Atlanta Braves nothing. We're going now now to the bottom of the third. The Mets leading 6-0, and the catcher, Bob Didier, coming up against Jerry Koosman. Bob has yet to bat in this ball game. This ball game has been going quite a while. Jerry Koosman, the pitcher. Jerry, a left-hander in the first pitch. Hit foul, strike one. Ball line foul into the bullpen on the first base side. Didier was 0 for 4 in the first ball game. Batted .256 for the series. Now a swing and a miss on a curveball at strike two. It'll be Bob Didier, Gil Garrido, and a possible pinch hitter, as there is more action in the bullpen for the Braves. Two-strike pitch looked at, strike three called, and Koosman with his third strikeout. Two of his strikeouts. Coming very quickly, he has struck out two of his last three. Jim Britton is now throwing in the bullpen for the Braves, a right-hander. Mets leading 6-0. They got a run in the first, 3 in the second, and 2 in the third. Now the batter, Gil Garrido, and a called strike in the first pitch. Garrido 1 for 4 in the first ball game. Batted .214 for the year. Right-hand batter, Koosman back. One strike pitch, a curve in. Strike two called, and Koosman has his rhythm. Now Jerry checks out the signs, quickly comes back to the plate, and the fastball is fouled off. Yesterday's ball game saw 50,122 paid here, and today looks like they might have a few more. Again, the two-strike pitch. And it's fouled again into the stand. The Atlanta Braves spent 111 days in first place in the Western Division of the National League. The Mets spent 22. And again, the two-strike hit hard into center field. Base hit. And Garrido has picked up the first hit off Jerry Koosman.
As you can tell, the transmission here is slowly deteriorating, and it got worse, and so we miss about an inning of play. In the bottom half of the third inning, the homestanding Atlanta Braves did not score, and then in the top half of the fourth inning, the New York Mets scored for their fourth inning in a row, getting 2 runs, and led the game 8-0 going into the bottom half of the fourth inning of play. We enter in the bottom half of the fourth inning of play with Ralph Kiner at the mic, Atlanta batting and trailing 8-0.
Oh, ball one. Jim Britton starts to warm up in the bullpen again for the Atlanta Braves. And the next pitch, a called strike. Boyer taking all the way, 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets got a run in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Fastball swung on and fouled back into the stands, and the count 1-2 on Boyer. Atlanta won their division by 3 games with a record of 93-69. The Mets won theirs by 8 with 100 wins and 62 losses. Now at 1-2, the pitch is swung on and missed. Jerry Koosman gets his 5th strikeout. 2 away in the bottom of the fourth inning as Boyer is sent back to the bench, and it brings up the catcher, Bob Didier, who struck out his first time up. Didier batting right-handed against Jerry Koosman, a left-hander. Cepeda at first base, not being held on by Kranepool. And the first pitch taken low, and it's ball 1. There are quite a few Met banners around, but of course the majority of banners in the ballpark are Braves banners. Next delivery, grounded out over the top of the mound. Harrelson by second base makes the catch of the ball right on the bag. And of course the force play retires the side. In the inning, Braves score the first run of the ball game on 2 hits. There were no errors. one man left on. And the score at the end of 4, the New York Mets 8, the Atlanta Braves 1.
The New York Mets are leading the Atlanta Braves by a score of 8-1 as we go to the 5th inning, and Jerry Koosman is up to lead off. He's a right-hand batter, facing Milt Pappas, a right-hand pitcher, and it's in there for a called strike. Koosman walked in the 2nd inning and scored when Tommy Agee homered, and Koosman was called out on strikes in the 3rd inning. Pappas with a pitch, swung on and missed. It was a breaking pitch, and it's strike 2. The Mets got 1 run in the 1st inning and threatened to score more when they had the bases loaded with nobody out. They left 3 runners stranded. They got 3 runs in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. That pitch is in for a called strike, and Koosman is a strikeout victim of Milt Pappas, his 2nd. Tommy Agee coming up, singled, homered, was intentionally walked, and he scored 2 runs here today. Right-hand batter, batting leadoff in the Mets batting order. The lights are on here at Atlanta Stadium. Pappas with a pitch, swung on and missed. It's strike 1. Game started shortly after 4 p.m. Atlanta time. Game in New York tomorrow will start shortly after 1 p.m. Here's a swing and a miss. It's strike 2 to Tommy Agee with 1 man out and nobody on base. The Mets 8 runs, 9 hits. The Atlanta Braves 1 run, 3 hits. Mets won yesterday's game, the opener in the championship series, 9-5. Swung on and missed. Milt Pappas strikes him out. 3rd strikeout for Pappas. 2 Mets away here in the 5th, and Wayne Garrett's coming up. Wayne walked, grounded out, and singled to drive in a run. Left-hand batter. Pitcher of record is Ron Reed, who started and worked 1 2/3, and then Paul Doyle worked an inning, and Milt Pappas replaced him. Now the pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball. That is on past the plate. A fair ball for a base hit. It'll be extra bases. As Garrett is on his way to 2nd. Now it's run down by Aaron, plays it in, and pulling up safely is Garrett with a double. It was a broken bat base hit. And the barrel of the bat went all the way out, even with the baseline between 1st and 2nd. It's retrieved by Yogi Berra. The ball was slammed down the line, and Cepeda came over. If I tried to stab it, it was off his glove and on down the line. No chance for him actually to make a play on it. So it scored as a double for Garrett, and Cleon Jones is coming up. Wayne Garrett had 2 hits yesterday. He's had 2 hits today. Jones walked, doubled, and struck out so far. Yesterday, Jones was 1 for 5 and had a run batted in. The Mets are leading by a score of 8-1 in their batting in the top half of the 5th inning. Pappas with the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. Art Shamsky next in the order for the Mets. Garrett takes his lead, and here's the pitch. Swung on, and it is lined out into right field for a base hit. Garrett rounds 30, he's coming home. Jones rounds 1st and holds up. Aaron returns the ball. Pappas takes his glove and tosses it up into the air. Catches it coming down in a move of some frustration, and the New York Mets are out in front by a score of 9-1. Ball was just punched. A looping, soft line drive out into right field, which caused Pappas to toss his glove up into the air. Leon gets a base hit, his 2nd of the game, and a run batted in. As Garrett scored easily, the ball rolling slowly on into right field. And here is Art Shamsky up. He's 2 for 3. Left-hand batter. Swinging a foul ball back and out of play. The Mets 9, the Braves 1. Pappas has turned his back to the plate now, and he is looking around the outfield as he rubs up the new ball. The Mets have scored in every inning. We're in the top of the 5th. 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. There's a swing and a foul tip back into the glove of Didier. It's a 2-strike count to Art Shamsky. We'll be on the air with radio and television coverage in New York at Shea Stadium tomorrow at 1 p.m. New York time. Cepeda is holding against the runner. Leon Jones at first base. Runner goes, and the pitch is outside. Didier throws, and not in time. Jones has a stolen base. 1-2 is the count to Shamsky at the plate as Jones got a good jump, was in easily. It wasn't close at second. As he ran to test the arm of Didier. So now Jones is in scoring position. Shamsky had 3 hits yesterday. He's had 2 today. 1-2 delivery, and it swung on and missed, struck him out. That is the 4th strikeout for Pappas. The Mets get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And in the middle of the 5th inning, the score is the New York Mets 9 and the Atlanta Braves 1. The Atlanta Braves will be coming up to face Jerry Koosman now in the bottom of the 5th, and they'll have Gil Garrido to lead off. This broadcast this afternoon is being picked up by the American Forces Network and beam round the world. So from all of us here at Atlanta Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, a salute to servicemen around the world. Garrido's been up 1 time and had a base hit. Koosman takes a sign from Jerry Grody, and here is the pitch. Swung on, and it is looped out into center field, and Agee has trouble with the sun and now changes direction and makes the catch. It's tough in the late afternoon with the sun, and Agee had a little trouble and finally had to put on a spurt to make the catch. Now, Tommy Aaron is coming up to bat for Milt Pappas. Once money made the mayor go, and now money pays bills, buys better cars, repairs homes. If you need some extra money, visit HFC, Household Finance. Aaron is a right-hand batter. He hit .250 during the regular season. Pitch is low for a ball. He had 1 homer and 5 runs batted in. This is his first appearance of the championship series. Here's a 1-0 delivery. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. This will be a 1-1 pitch. And he swung on, hit back to the mound. Taken by Koosman, played to first, right off the end of the bat of Tommy Aaron. He's out. Pitcher to first. 2 away, and Felix Millan is coming up. He's the leadoff man in the order. He's been up twice and walked both times against Koosman here this afternoon. The Mets are leading in the game by a score of 9-1. The Mets have 9 runs, 11 hits, and the Braves have 1 run, 3 hits. Jim Britton is up and throwing again in the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves, with Pappas out of the ball game. Swing and a ground ball that is slowly rolling towards first. It is Craneful to Koosman. He's safe. Millan beats Koosman to the bag with a base hit. Just a little scribbler off to the right side, and Craneful, the first baseman, had to go for the ball. Wasn't hit hard at all, so that Koosman had to go for the bag, and Millan beat him there. The toss was effected cleanly, but just not in time. That is hit number 4 for the Braves off Koosman, and brings up left-hand batter Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez called out on strikes, slide to left so far in 2 trips. Braves are batting here in the bottom half of the 5th inning in Atlanta, Georgia. Pitch is low, short hop by Jerry Grody. It's ball 1. Craneful playing behind the run of Felix Millan at first base. Now the ball is tossed in for the inspection of Augie Donatelli, who takes it out of play. Donatelli, the umpire behind the plate, is the second man in point of service with the National League as far as umpires are concerned. The senior umpire is Al Barlick, who was behind the plate yesterday, who is umpiring down the right field line today. This pitch is outside. 2-0 now to Tony Gonzalez with Henry Aaron on deck. The Mets have scored in every inning. The Braves got their run in the bottom of the fourth. That's low. Koosman goes behind 3-0 now to Gonzalez. There are 2 men out. Millon's the runner at first, and the 3-0 pitch taken low. He walked in. That's the third walk issued by Koosman. It pushes Millon up to second. Gonzalez is at first, and Hank Aaron is the batter. He hit into a double play in the first inning. He grounded out to first base unassisted in the fourth. Aaron, a right-hand batter, to face the left-hand pitcher, Jerry Koosman. Here's a pitch low as Henry Aaron started to swing at the breaking pitch. Then laid off. Rico Carty's on deck. Brave fans have come alive here now, hopeful that Henry Aaron can provide a little dynamite to get them back into the ball game. Runners lead first and second. Here's the pitch. It's deep to left. It's way back going a home run. A home run for Aaron, a 3-run homer. So it is now the New York Mets 9 and the Atlanta Braves 4. As Hank Aaron, who hit a home run yesterday, has delivered another here today. Carty's up, nobody on base. Here is the pitch. Low for a ball. So the Atlanta Braves fans have come alive here as Hank Aaron hit his second home run of this championship series. That's low for a ball. Aaron had 44 home runs during the National League season. All right, Rico Carty is back in. This will be a 2-0 pitch from Koosman to Carty. And it misses outside. He goes behind 3-0. Orlando Cepeda is on deck. It is the Mets 9, the Braves 4. Taken high and away, and he walked it. That's the fourth walk issued by Koosman. It puts Carty on at first and brings up Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda called out on strikes in the second inning, single to drive in the first Braves run in the fourth. Curveball high. So it is 1-0 to Cepeda with Clete Boyer on deck. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swung on and belted deep to left. Way back. Jones trying to get to it. It's in play. Off the base of the wall. Hardy's on his way to third. Here's the relay coming into Harrison. And Cepeda pulls up at second with a double. One hop. It hit in the warning track and went to the wall. Runners at second and third, and Clete Boyer coming up. We're quickly going to get some action down in the Met bullpen. Nolan Ryan gets up to throw in the Met bullpen. Nolan Ryan is throwing in the Met bullpen. Jerry Grody has gone to the mound. Ed Kranepool has come over from first base to the mound. The Mets are leading 9-4, but the Braves have runners at second and third. Ron Taylor, who got a save yesterday, pitched the last 2 innings yesterday, comes back out to warm up. Ron Taylor and Nolan Ryan. Clete Boyer's up. He lined out to left field and struck out so far. 2 men out with 2 men on. The crowd has really come alive in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's a swing and a fly ball foul off to the right side out of play. The Braves have scored all these runs. All the dynamite has exploded after 2 were out. Gil Garrido flied out to centers. Tommy Aaron batted for Milpappas and grounded out, pitcher to first. And then came the barrage here in the fifth inning. Swung on and belted into center field for a base hit. It'll score 2 runs. Hardy comes on to score. Cepeda scores. Holding at first is Boyer. It is the Mets 9, the Braves 6. The Atlanta Braves have scored 5 runs here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. It is the Mets 9, the Braves 6. Boyer's on at first. 2 men are out. Didier is coming up. Here comes Gil Hodges to the mound. Manager Gil Hodges coming to the mound. He has Ron Taylor, and he has Nolan Ryan throwing in the bullpen. Hodges taking his time. He was commenting before the ball game on the fact that it's a long way from the dugout to the mound here in Atlanta, and it is indeed. Hodges now talking to Jerry Koosman on the mound. And the sign goes to the bullpen. That will be all for Jerry Koosman. We'll see who we're going to get now. It's going to be Ron Taylor. Ron Taylor is walking to the mound as he does. Wheel pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is New York Mets baseball on WKAJ-FM 102.3, Saratoga Springs, New York.
Bob Didier will be coming up here, and he is the 9th man to come up to the Braves in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Taylor's taking his warm-up pitches. So the Atlanta Braves, with lots of thunder in the batting order, have finally seen it explode. They get them back in this ball game here this afternoon. Ron Taylor yesterday worked 2 1/3. He allowed only 1 hit and no runs during the regular season. Ron Taylor won 8 games and he lost 4. He won 9 games and he lost 4. Worked 2 innings yesterday. Many of the fans around the ballpark up and standing now as they have seen the Braves come back in. And so it's Didier, who is a switch hitter, and will bat left now against Ron Taylor. Jim Britton has been throwing all this inning down in the Atlanta bullpen. He'll be coming in the 6th to face the New York Mets. Lead Boyer is the runner at first. There are 2 men out, and Didier is up. Taylor takes a look around, looks into Jerry Groder to get a sign. Didier struck out, grounded into a forced play so far. Taylor's pitch is high for a ball. Taylor coming back for the 2nd consecutive day. Mets 9, Braves 6. Taylor again off the stretch. And the pitch swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Rainpool playing behind the runner, Clete Boyer at first base. Boyer's single drove in 2 runs. In case you've joined us in the last few moments, earlier in this inning, Hank Aaron hit a 3-run homer on a Koosman 3-2 pitch. Now the 1-1 delivery. Swung on and is hit short second base, right at second by Boswell on the fly for the out. Somewhat soft line drive, and the side is retired. 5 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 5 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 9 and the Braves. For the Atlanta Braves now, right-hander Jim Britton comes in to do the pitching. He is making, during the National League season, he made 24 appearances. had a record of 7 wins and 5 losses. He last worked on September 19th at San Diego for 2 innings and allowed no runs and no hits. So Jim Britton is in the ball game. Bill Pappas worked 2 1/3 before being removed for the pinch hitter. He was charged with 3 runs on 4 hits. He still got 4 and walked none. So the New York Mets will be coming up in the top half of the 6th inning now to see if they can do anything about lengthening the lead once again. They have scored in every inning in the ball game. 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. But Atlanta has scored 1 in the fourth and 5 in the 5th inning. The Mets will have Ken Boswell up to lead off. He is a left-hand batter against the right-hand pitcher, Jim Britton. The shadows here in the late afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia, have lengthened out now so that they encompass every ball player on the field. Sun is still shining brightly against the wall in center field and, of course, in the upper tiers of the stands in center field. But the entire playing field and the players thereon are encompassed in shadow. The lights are on. They have not yet taken effect. We're in the twilight time in Atlanta. Jim Britton into the motion. Here is the pitch, and it's high and tight. Boswell homered in the 4th inning. It was a 2-run homer. He struck out his first 2 times up here today. 1-0 the count to the Mets second baseman. That's in for a called strike. It's 1-1. Ron Taylor is throwing in the Met bullpen at this moment. Apparently not feeling that he was sufficiently warmed up. It was short notice as Coos blew sky high. Here's a pitch high for a ball. It's 2-1. And we're getting some further action down in the bullpen of the Atlanta Braves as well. Here's a pitch low to Boswell. Cecil Upshaw is throwing in the bullpen for the Braves. Right-hander Cecil Upshaw. Counts 3 balls and a strike to Boswell at the plate. 3-1 delivery. Swung on, foul back. The count runs full at 3-2. Payoff pitch. Swung on and hit high and deep to right. That could be another one, but there goes Aaron to the warning track to make the catch. Henry Aaron went back to the warning track to make the catch as that ball was belted by Boswell. It looked as it left the plate as though it might go out, but it went to the warning track and right where Henry Aaron brought it down and is 1 away. Now Ed Cranefield's coming up. He's 1 for 3 here today. Ron Taylor still throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. There's a swing and a drive down the left field. Out if it stays fair, it's extra bases. It's a foul ball. Foul by a couple of feet. Belted down the left field line to the opposite field by left-hand batter Ed Cranfield. So he comes back to the plate with a count of strike 1. Jerry Grody's on deck. Pitch is high for a ball. It's 1-1. Jim Britton is the 4th pitcher to work in this ball game for the Atlanta Braves. Ron Reed, who started, is the pitcher of record. Here's a pitch high and tight, and Cranfield hits the deck. Flat on his back. It's 2 balls and a strike. There's a Braves banner being paraded now around through the stands, and it's getting a favorable reaction from the Braves fans here in Atlanta. 2-1 delivery. Low. Jim Britton goes behind, 3-1. Here's a pitch in for a called strike. It's 3-2. So the count is full at 3-2. And we'll have a payoff pitch with one man out. Swung on and fouled on the right field line into the seats and out of play. So the count continues at 3-2. Ron Taylor came into the ballgame on such short notice that when he got out of the inning, he went down to the bullpen to keep warming up. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's low. He walked Cranepool. Cranepool goes to first to check in with Coach Yogi Berra, and Jerry Grody's coming up. Called out on strikes. He was on an error by Cepeda, and he lined out to right field. The Mets are leading by a score of 9-6, and they're batting in the top half of the sixth inning. Still time for almost anything to happen in this ball game here in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. Brody turns and walks several feet away from the batter's box. Reaches down to get a handful of dirt. Throws it away and comes back. Bud Harrelson kneeling there in the on-deck circle. Here's a pitch high for a ball. It's 1-1. Britton sets up, delivers 1-1. Breaking pitch that is low, and it gets away momentarily from Didier, but rolls only a couple of feet away, so no chance for Cranepool to advance. Counts 2 balls and a strike to Grody at the plate. Now there's a banner being paraded. It says the University of Arizona loves the Mets. It is not greeted so favorably in Atlanta, understandably. Here's the pitch that's low, so Jim Britton is behind 3-1 to Jerry Grody. Ron Taylor now has finished throwing down in the bullpen and is coming on back into the dugout. Here's a 3-1 pitch with a runner going. Hit on the ground. Back to the mound. Taken by Britton. And he throws it into center field where it is backed up by Millan, the second baseman, on the edge of the outfield grass, and all hands are safe. The ball was back to the mound. And Cranepool was running on the pitch. Nobody covered second base. And Jim Britton whirled and threw. And the ball was taken by Millan, who apparently turned an ankle. And now he is calling for the trainer. And he's getting attention. Rico Carty comes up from his post at left. Shortstop Gil Garrido comes out to see about Millan as well. It is just a fielder's choice as far as the scoring is concerned. Here comes Luman Harris, the manager of the Braves, now out to see about his second baseman. It was a comebacker, but it was a 3-1 pitch. Hit right back to the mound with the runner going. So Britton took it, turned leisurely, threw across the bag. It looked as though the ball would hit on out into deep center field, but second baseman Millan was some 15 feet behind the bag. He made the stop, but apparently turned an ankle. Bud Harrelson will be coming up for the Mets. As soon as play is resumed, Luman Harris is just now arriving out there behind second, where there's a gathering of Atlanta ball players. The attendance has just been announced here at Atlanta Stadium, 50,270. 50,270. So for each of the 2 days, we've had a crowd in excess of 50,000. Bob Aspromonte is loosening up his arm down in the bullpen area just in case for the Atlanta Braves. Aspromonte, an infielder who would be used in case Millan is taken out, but it appears he's going to stay in. Cecil Upshaw has been throwing down there for quite a while, and Upshaw now is being brought to the mound. As Jim Britton is standing there with manager Luman Harris. After Harris had determined that Millan was all right and would stay in, he went to the mound and he is making a change. So it is Cecil Upshaw coming in relief of Britton. This is the fifth pitcher to be used today by the Atlanta Braves. Upshaw has arrived at the mound. He's talking to manager Luman Harris. Britton has departed. He's on his way to the dugout. Britton is credited with a third of an inning. No runs so far, although he's responsible for the 2 runners on base. No hits. He struck out 9, he walked 1. Cecil Upshaw had a record of 6 wins and 4 losses, but he made 62 appearances during the National League season with an earned run average of 2.91. He pitched 1 inning yesterday. He had 27 saves for the Atlanta Braves. Cecil Upshaw was the big man in the bullpen until Hoyt Wilhelm came along. Hoyt Wilhelm is not eligible for the championship series. Came along too late to be eligible for this series. The third game of the best-of-5 set will be played in New York tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 1 p.m. Pat Jarvis for the Braves against Gary Gentry of the New York Mets. The 4th and 5th games, if necessary, will be played on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons at Shea Stadium in New York. The World Series between the National League winner and the American League winner will start on Saturday, October 11th in the American League City. In the championship series in the American League, Baltimore leads Minnesota 2 games to none. All right, Harrelson's up. The Mets have runners at first and second with 1 man out. Harrelson's a switch hitter batting left against the right-hand pitcher, Cecil Upshaw. Off the stretch, here's the pitch. Low for a ball. The Mets are leading Atlanta by a score of 9-6. J.C. Martin's out there on deck now for the New York Mets. Here's the pitch outside, and Nolan Ryan has begun to throw again in the bullpen. Nolan Ryan has begun to throw in the bullpen. Ron Taylor is going back to the dugout. He had been out there on deck. J.C. Martin apparently is going to be stood up if the inning is still alive. There's 1 man out, runners first and second. 2-0 pitch to Harrelson, high. It goes 3-0. J.C. Martin delivered a big base hit as a pinch hitter in yesterday's ball game. Drove in 2 runs, 3 runs scored in all on his base knock. 3-0 delivered to Harrelson. He takes it, and it's in there for a strike. 3-1. Cranepool is the runner at second. Grody is the runner at first. This will be a 3-1 pitch to Bud Harrelson. Swung on and fouled off. The count is full at 3-2. The Mets have 9 runs on 11 hits, and the Braves have 6 runs on 7 hits. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Runners take their leads at first and second. They're moving. The pitch is in for a called strike. Throw to third, and Cranepool's out. A strikeout double play. The pitch was taken by Harrelson. He was called out on strike. Then the throw went from Didier to Boyer for the out on Cranepool. 2-5 if you're scoring. Strikeout double play. This is the first inning that the Mets have failed to score. It is no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. In the midway of the 6th inning, the score is the Mets 9, the Braves 6.
Shop the Jamesway Discount Store. Shop the Jamesway Discount Store. Greatest values time and time again.
Hurry, hurry to Jamesway. Doorbuster days are going on. Johnson Pledge at 88 cents. Pierced earring jewelry boxes for 97 cents, a regular $1.58 value. Men's insulated pack boots at $4. Men's flannel shirts just $1, sizes small, medium, and large. Full-fashion cardigans, $2. Delicious turnouts in fine 12-gauge acrylic knit, sizes 34 to 40. Girls' dresses, $1, $2, and $3, sizes 4 to 14. The regular price, $3.97. And pink lotion detergent, 4 bottles for $1. New soft formula. Yes, it really pays to shop at the Jamesway Discount Department Store in the West Hill Shopping Plaza. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 until 10.
Well, the inning was not kept alive for J.C. Martin to bat for Taylor, and so Ron Taylor is still in the ball game. The double play, the strikeout double play, prevented Martin from coming up. It kept Taylor in the game, so he has finished his warm-up pitches on the mound. The throw goes to second around the horn. The shortstop, Joe Garrido, leads off for Atlanta on the bottom of the sixth. The Atlanta Braves got 1 run in the fourth, and they got 5 in the fifth. So the Braves fans are hopeful they can keep the momentum going as they come up here in the sixth inning. Trailing by 3 runs, the Mets lead them 9-6. Met fans are hopeful that Ron Taylor can slam the door. Here's a pitch in for a call strike to Garrido, who singled and flied to center. Taylor came in to get Bob Didier on a line drive to second and retire the side in the bottom of the fifth. All 5 of those runs were scored off Jerry Koosman after 2 were out. Pitches in for a call strike 2 to Garrido. He bats number 8 in the order. Upshaw's on deck. There's no action in the bullpen. Two-strike delivery is fouled off to the right side out of play. Just punched that by Garrido. There are a great many banners displayed around the stadium. Two-strike delivery. Swung on and popped up to the right side in foul territory. Grody and Craneville are after it. Grody can't get it. It falls in front of the dugout of the Atlanta Braves. It's simply a foul ball, and the count holds at 2 strikes. Craneville and Grody give it a long run. There is a great deal of open area between the baseline and the dugout here at Atlanta Stadium. There's a long way to run after those foul pops. Grody and Craneville gave it a long run, but couldn't handle it.
No play.
No error charge, no play. So it's 2 strikes to Gil Garrido. Ron Taylor's pitch. Belted into center, and Agee flips the glasses, stays right there, and makes the catch. Garrido lined out to Agee in center, and Cecil Upshaw will come up to bat for himself. He's a right-hand batter. There's a sign out there in left field. I suppose this is on behalf of the Braves, the Indians. It says, New York ain't worth $24. One man out, nobody on base. The pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0 to Upshaw with Felix Millan on deck. He's 5 for 21 with 1 home run this year, Cecil Upshaw. Swinging a foul ball, sliced off to the right side, into the seats and out of play, and the count's 1-1. The Mets 9, the Braves 6. The Mets at one time led by a score of 8-0 before the Braves got a run in the 4th inning. Mets got it back in the 5th to lead 9-1, but then the Braves got 5. Here's a pitch in for a strike. It's 1-2. New supply of baseballs taken out to plate umpire Augie Donatelli. Now the 1-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. So Ron Taylor notches a strikeout. 2 Braves away in the bottom of the 6th, and Tony Gonzalez, or rather Felix Millan is coming up. Felix Millan walked, and had a base hit. He's a right-hand batter. Grody flashes a sign to Ron Taylor. Pitch misses low and away for a ball. Taylor will be scheduled to lead off the top half of the 7th inning when the New York Mets come up. Pitch is in for a call strike. It's 1-1. There's nobody throwing at this moment in the Met bullpen. Nolan Ryan has been throwing on there 2 or 3 different times. Two men out with nobody on base and a 1-1 pitch to Millan. In there for a call, strike 2. It's 1-2. Got the outside corner. Gonzalez leaning against the bat in the on-deck circle. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Foul back and out of play. The count holds at 1-2. Taylor goes to the rosin bag. Millan choking up on the bat, in and waiting. Something of a crouch at the plate, and here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, broken bat, Lanner into center field for a base hit. Picked up by Tommy Agee and played back, and Millan with a broken bat base hit is on at first. That'll bring up Tony Gonzalez, left-hand batter, facing the right-hand pitcher. Second hit of the ball game for Millan, who has been on base 4 consecutive times. Gonzalez has been called out on strike, slide to left, and walked. Gonzalez yesterday was 2 for 5. He had a home run. He knocked in 2 runs, and he was a big man for the Atlanta Braves down the stretch, replacing Philippe Alou after he cracked a forefinger. Moving out on deck is Hank Aaron. This pitch is in for a called strike. 0-1 to Gonzalez. Taylor now working slowly, deliberately, trying to get out of the inning with the Braves batting in the bottom half of the 6th. The Mets lead 9-6. Cranesville behind the runner at first. Time called as Gonzalez steps out at the plate. He takes a deep breath, comes back in. Millan leads off the bag at first. Ron Taylor sets up check. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He chased it low and away. It's a 2-strike count to Tony Gonzalez with Hank Aaron kneeling on deck. And 2. This will be an 0-2 delivery. Swung on and foul back. So the count holds at 0-2. We're going to get some further action. Tug McGraw gets up to throw now in the bullpen for the New York Mets. Duffy Dyer gets up in the bullpen to warm him up. Left-hander Tug McGraw gets up to throw. It'll be an 0-2 pitch to Gonzalez. Swung on and line foul down the left field line, out of play. Millan off and running, returns to the bag at first. There are 2 men out. The Mets lead 9-6. Taylor fingers the rosin bag. Now takes a sign from Grody. 2-strike delivery. Swung on and missed. Taylor strikes out Gonzalez. His second strikeout. Side is retired with no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 6 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 9, the Braves 6. Bob Murphy will be along for the play-by-play in just a moment. Right now, here's a word from Rheingold.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Ask for Rheingold whenever you buy
best. The men who buy the ingredients that are brewed into Rheingold Extra Dry insist on only the best malt, only the best hops, only the best of everything. You can see what that means in every Rheingold you drink. You can see the proud Rheingold 10-minute head standing as a sure sign of quality.
Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
The Rheingold 10-minute head. Haven't you timed it yet? Rheingold Breweries, New York and Orange, New Jersey.
Here in Atlanta, Georgia, we'll be going now to the 7th inning. The New York Mets leading the Atlanta Braves 9-6. And trying to stave off the momentum of the Braves. Ron Taylor will be scheduled to lead off, but J.C. Martin is going to hit for him. And right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You're listening to New York Mets Baseball from WKAJ-FM 102.3 on your FM dial in Saratoga Springs, New York.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kinder. It's the 7th inning, 9-6 New York. And J.C. Martin will bat for Ron Taylor. Ron worked 2 innings in relief yesterday, and Doug McGraw gets ready in the bullpen. And a high fly ball hit the center field. Gonzalez taps the glove near the warning track and takes it for the out. So on one pitch, Cecil Upshaw retires pinch hitter J.C. Martin. Martin had the big hit in the game yesterday, a pinch single to center that drove 3 runs in, and a 3rd run. Harrelson came flying home, and the ball was bobbled to the outfield by Gonzalez. Now leadoff batter Tommy Agee. Tommy has singled to right and belted a 2-run homer. Here's the pitch by Upshaw, low and outside, ball 1. New York 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Atlanta 6-8-2. Well, everyone thought the series would be dominated by pitching, and so far the opposite has been true. Upshaw, the lanky right-hander, sidearms a curve low outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Upshaw was the leader of the Atlanta bullpen. He was in 62 ball games, and he had 27 saves. Tall, lanky right-hander, a sidearm pitcher, and it's fouled back toward Wayne Garrett in the on-deck circle. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. A number of youngsters, Mets fans from the New York area, walking the aisles carrying Mets banners, and they're being pelted by the Braves fans. Low and outside, 3-1 to Tommy Agee. Shaw getting his sign from Bob Didier. 3-1 delivery. Ground ball hit slowly down to third. Boyer charging, and it will go foul. Agee running it out will have to turn and come back. And the string is out now, 3-2. Crowd again today, over 50,000 for this, the second game of the championship series. Game time tomorrow at New York, 1 p.m. Hope you're planning to be on hand. The advanced sale window at Shea will be open another half hour. There are some box and reserve seats available. They must be purchased in strips of free games. The remaining tickets that are available will go on sale tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. One out and nobody on. We are in the top of the 7th. And the pitch on the way. Low and outside, and Tommy Agee is on base. This is the 4th time today that Agee has been on. First walk by Cecil Upshaw. It brings up Wayne Garrett. Yesterday, Wayne had a pair of hits, and today he has 2 for 3 and a walk. So in the series, Wayne Garrett is 4 for 7. And a grounder going foul behind Yogi Berra.
Tomorrow afternoon, Gary Gentry will pitch for the New York Mets. Against the Braves this year, Gary was 0-1. His opponent will be stocky Pat Jarvis, who won 2 and lost none against New York. And a throw over, not in time. A.G. dives back. Usually when a club starts coming on strong the way the Braves have, it is hard to check their momentum. It takes a strong relief job. The runner goes, and it's foul back into the screen. That's playing hit and run, and Tommy Agee was flying towards second. Should the Braves pull this game out, it would be a tremendous lift to their morale, where they trailed by 8 runs. Cleon Jones waiting on deck. Cleon has hit the ball hard today. And a throw to first by Upshaw. Agee hustles back. Upshaw now with a 2-strike advantage in pitching to Wayne Garrett. And the pitch on the way off the outside corner, blocked by DDA. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lewin Harris has ushered 5 pitchers into the contest. Mets knocked out the Atlanta starter, Ron Reed, in the second. Lobbed over to first, a calling card throw. Orlando Cepeda holding against Tommy Agee. Early in the game, Tommy pulled off a big play when he stole third. There goes Agee. The pitch low outside. The peg by Didier to slide. Save. He stole a base. Tommy Agee's second stolen base of the ball game. Tommy getting a good jump. Arrived well ahead of the throw, and now the count is 2-2 on Wayne Garrett. Pitching 2-2, and a curve hit foul down the third baseline. No play. Garrett returns. Eddie Yost coaching at third, and Yogi Berra coaching at first. The 2-2 delivery. Low and outside, and that runs the count full to Wayne Garrett. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wayne Garrett, an unknown rookie in spring training, who had played last season in the Texas League in the Braves organization. And he hits a high fly ball to rather deep center. Back goes Gonzalez to the warning track, and he makes the catch right in front of the fence. Agee tags and runs to third after the catch. Garrett not missing a home run by very much. Gonzalez was on the warning track right in front of the fence. Now Tommy Agee on third, 2 men away in the 7th. New York in front 9-6. Cleon Jones has drawn a walk. Double to left, struck out, and single to right. Cleon's last time up, he singled over the 9th New York run of the game. At the time he did so, it made the score 9-1. It looked like just so much frosting on the cake. But the Braves then launched their comeback. Braves scored 5 runs in the 5th inning. And a sidearm breaking ball, a call strike to Cleon Jones. Yesterday, Cleon had 1 for 5, and that 1 hit was a big one. The Mets were trailing 5-4, and he singled to tie up the game. And Upshaw's pitch, inside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Say, I got an idea for you. Why don't you escape and come on over to Royal Crown Cola, the one with the mad, mad taste. R.C. the Comer. The 1-1 pitch, inside and low, it's 2 balls and a strike. Agee trying to steal home. A line drive, foul down the left field line. Ooh-wee. Cleon did not see his pal Tommy Agee. Agee was stealing home, and Jones hit a line drive that just went over the head of Tommy Agee. And right now, Tommy Agee and Cleon Jones, two of the greatest fans you've ever known, are really shook up. Cleon just standing around home plate, and Agee walking very slowly back to third. Agee was stealing home, but Cleon did not see him, and he hit a wicked line drive. It just went over the head of Tommy Agee and was fouled on the left field line. Now Cleon walks about halfway down the line to ask Agee if he's all right. That has to shake you up, and shake you up a lot. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cleon. Agee back on third. We'll never know whether he would have made it or not. He was really barreling down the line toward home plate. And Upshaw throws to third. And you can bet that now Upshaw will be watching him very carefully. Agee already has stolen 2 bases in the game. Pitching 2-2. Inside and low, ball 3 to Cleon Jones. Now it's 3-2 on the Mets' leading hitter. Art Shamsky is the on-deck batter. Doug McGraw takes over the pitching in the last of the 7th inning. Here's the payoff delivery by Upshaw, and it's a high fly, well hit to left center. It's deep. Back goes Carty. It's going, and there it goes, a home run. Cleon Jones belting a 2-run homer to open up a 5-run lead for the New York Mets. 11-6 New York. The Mets have their 3rd 2-run homer of the ball game. Tommy Agee hit one earlier in the contest. Then Ken Boswell ripped one with a man on, and now Cleon Jones. During the regular season, Cleon had 12 home runs. The Mets have hit 3 home runs, each time with a man on base. And Art Shamsky takes inside and low, it's ball 1. Now the Mets have regained a 5-run lead. It is 11-6. We're in the 7th. First home run for Cleon in quite a while. His last was back on August 16th when he homered off Dick Kelly of San Diego to right field. He had 1 home run during the year off of Atlanta, and that was against Stone, a left-hander. It was a tremendous shot to left center. Here's the pitch on the way to Art Shamsky, a breaking ball at the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. Only one of the 5 pitchers called on by Luman Harris has escaped without being scored on. Ground ball hit toward the hole, off the glove of Orlando Cepeda and into right field, and Shamsky is on. And we'll wait for the scoring. That might very well go as a base hit, or it could go the other way. If it goes as a hit, it'll be Shamsky's 3rd of the game, and he had 3 yesterday. It is going as a base hit off the glove of Cepeda. Rod Gasper is coming in the game to run for Art Shamsky. And Art Shamsky in 2 games has collected 6 base hits. Gary Neibauer, a right-hander, now warming up for the Atlanta Braves. Boswell is the batter, and a throw to first by Cecil Upshaw. Art Shamsky 3 for 4 yesterday and 3 for 5 today. 6 hits in 9 times at bat in the 2 games. Boswell waiting, and the sidearm pitch is over. Call strike 1. Ken has one hit and 4 times up, and that one hit was a big one, a 2-run homer. It came in the 4th inning following a single by Shemsky. It's over the outside corner, a call strike. New York 11 runs on 13 hits. The Atlanta Braves 6 runs on 8 hits. And it's off the outside corner. Boswell holds up on his swing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mets have out-homered the Braves 3-1. Henry Aaron connecting for Atlanta. Ground ball on the right side to Felix Millan. He snags the hop, throws to Cepeda. The side is up. But in the 7th inning, the Mets get 2 runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. At the end of 6 1/2 innings, the New York Mets 11 and the Atlanta Braves 6.
Discover the new International pickup at Natal Ramblers, South Broadway, Saratoga Springs during International's once-a-year clearance sale and save. With 83 improvements this year, the rugged, dependable International pickup gives you the hottest combination of car comfort and truck muscle ever to hit the road. 41% thicker brakes, double-walled steel box, choice of automatic or manual transmission, power all the way from 145 horsepower Power Thrift 6 to the rugged Power Pack 235 horsepower V8 engine, and the industry's only choice of torsion bar or I-beam front suspensions matched to your loads. All this at prices you can't afford to pass up, plus distinctive new styling and rich, plush, color-coordinated interiors. Special seasonal savings on luxury extras include 4-wheel drive, automatic transmission, bucket seats, wood grain side panels, air conditioning, and stereo. Now is the time to go International. So come into Natal Ramblers, South Broadway, Saratoga. Choose the color and equipment you want and drive home your new International pickup today.
Doug McGraw is the new pitcher. Rod Gasper is now playing right field. Al Weiss has gone to second base. The advanced sale window at Shea will be open until 7, and there are still some advanced reserved and box seats available. They must be purchased in strips of 3. They're on sale at the advanced sale window near Gate D at Shea. The remaining tickets will go on sale at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The game tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Gary Gentry pitching against Pat Jarvis. Mets now have scored 11 runs. This matches their best run output of any one ball game during the regular season. Doug McGraw comes on in relief against the Atlanta Braves. He worked 7 innings and had a 2.5 ERA during the regular season. Doug McGraw won 9 and lost 3 during the regular season. He had a magnificent year. And the pitch by Tug, a fastball over the outside corner, a call strike. Ron Taylor did a good job of striking out Gonzalez in the 6th inning with 2 men on. Had Gonzalez delivered, Aaron would have been up with the men on base. Lined in the air to left center. Jones going over, and he has it for the out. Henry Aaron again hitting the ball hard, and he lines out to Cleon Jones. Cleanup batter Rico Carty has been up 3 times, bounced out, doubled to the right field corner, and reached on a walk. And Tug's pitch on the way, bounced toward the middle. Harrelson hurrying to his glove side. Now throws, low throw, into the dirt, can't be handled. The ball goes against the dugout, and on his way to second is Rico Carty. A low throw by Bud Harrelson, and Carty gets a life. Bud's throw in the dirt. Cranepool tried to scoop it up, but it was beyond the range of his glove. On the error charge to Buddy Harrelson, Rico Carty winds up on second. And now coming up for Orlando Cepeda. Well, this is a wild one. It's a real pure six-type brawl. Orlando Cepeda, 2 hits and 3 times at bat. High fly ball to right field. Gasper coming full speed. Slows up and makes the catch. Rod running right out from under his cap. Gasper had just gone to the outfield, replacing Art Shamsky. He came in to run for him. And Gasper's speed was helpful on that particular fly ball to rather shallow right field. Now Clete Boyer coming up. He had a big hit for the Atlanta Braves his last time up. Following a 3-run homer by Henry Aaron, Boyer singled 2 runs in as the Braves got 5 runs in the 5th inning to climb back into the ballgame. Mets had been leading 9-1. Atlanta got 5 to close the gap. Mets getting 2 more on the 2-run homer by Cleon, so it's 11-6 in the 7th inning. Game now being played under the lights. And a drive well hit to right field. It's deep. Back is Gasper. He's got it right on the edge of the warning track, and the side is out. Ooh, that ball was well hit by Clete Boyer. And Rod Gasper, a fine outfielder who just came in the ball game, had no time to waste in putting his skills to work. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. And at the end of 7, the New York Mets 11, the Atlanta Braves 6.
I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why, but I've seen Jerry. I don't know why you refresh me like you do. I don't know why you just take soft drink. You always quench my thirst, you're not a sweet thing. You always go so well with what I'm eating. I don't know why.
Such a different tasting soft drink to be loved by so many. Canada Dry Ginger Ale, the unexpected soft drink.
Eddie Cranepool batting against Cecil Upshaw, and he whacks it foul down the left field line. It slices now over toward the crowd. Crowd this afternoon of over 50,000. Well, yesterday it was 9-5, and today 11-6. Anybody traveling around with the New York Mets day in and day out rarely sees a game decided by scores such as these. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ed Cranepool. Mets played 1 low-scoring, well-pitched game right after another all year long. Ground ball with a big hop hit down to Orlando Cepeda. He makes the play unassisted. 1 down. Now Jerry Grody coming up. Jerry has gone 0 for 4. He was on base twice, once on a fielder's choice, and again on an error. At the moment, the pitchers of record are Ron Taylor and starter Ron Reed. Taken above the letters, 1 ball and no strikes to Grody. 11 runs on 13 hits for New York. Grounder hit down toward Clete Boyer. A big hop to work with. The peg across in time. So 2 up and 2 cast aside by Cecil Upshaw. Bud Harrelson comes up. Bud has 1 for 4. He doubled home a run in the 3rd inning. Harrelson hitting left against Cecil Upshaw, and he has to turn away from the plate as the pitch comes inside, ball 1. Boyer playing a shallow 3rd against Bud, and Carty playing toward the left field line. Ground ball whacked toward Felix Millan. He handles the knee-high hop, throws to Cepeda, and the side is up. Well, the Mets are out quickly in their half of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. At the end of 7 1/2 innings, the New York Mets 11 and the Atlanta Braves 6.
Hornet is the little rich car, the car with so much more. It's new from American Motors, the little rich car, Hornet. That's it. You take your Hornet Basic and pay a little for it. Or you can pile on the options and pay a lot. Come and see why we call it the little rich car. The little rich car, Hornet. Get it.
See your Northeast American Motors dealer having the most exciting auto show in town. Whatever you want in a car, he's got it, ready for immediate delivery. Your Northeast American Motors dealer.
Now the last of the 8th inning with New York leading Atlanta 11-6. The bottom third of the Atlanta batting order comes up against Tug McGraw. In addition to his 9 wins, McGraw had 12 saves during the year. He averaged a strikeout an inning. DDA will be hitting right-handed. He's gone 0 for 3. Gil Garrido is on deck. Fastball down the middle. Call, strike 1. Gary Neibauer is on call in the Braves bullpen. The Atlanta pitcher due up 3rd in the inning. Under the knees, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Jerry Grody provides the target, and the pitch is low. During the regular season, on 4 occasions, the Mets scored as many as 11 runs in 1 game. So here in this playoff battle, they have tied their high for 1 game during the year. Pitching 2-1. Ground ball slammed right at Al Weiss. He's up with it. Throws to Cranepool. That retires Bob DDA. 1 down in the last of the 8th inning. Gil Garrido has singled to center, flied to center, and lined out to center. 1 for 3. Bob Aspromonte comes out on deck. He's going to bat for Cecil Upshaw. Low and outside, it's ball 1. Now McGraw delivers, and it's under the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball over the outside corner. It's 2-1. All the lights have been on for quite a while here in Atlanta. Now Tug is just off the outside corner to fall behind the hitter. 3 balls and 1 strike. On the pitching staff, only Tom Seaver wound up with a lower ERA than Tug McGraw. In for a call strike, 3-2. Garrido, right-hand batter, bends from the waist, hits a high fly ball to center field. Tommy Agee just walking back to get under this, and he has it for the out. Now Bob Aspermonte will hit for Cecil Upshaw. Aspermonte played both the infield and the outfield, had 198 times at bat during the season, and Bob hit .253. Right-hand hitter looks at a fastball outside, ball one. 11-6 New York. This is the last of the eighth inning. Now the sinker by Tug is taken low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Tug works with an exceptional fastball, pretty good curve, and a good screwball. Screwball has been an excellent weapon against the right-hand batters. And a high pop foul. Grody coming back, hoping for a play, and he grabs it right at the railing. The side is out. Strong 1-2-3 inning by Tug McGraw. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 8 innings, the New York Mets 11, the Atlanta Braves 6. Now the 9th inning here in Atlanta, and Gary Neibauer is in to pitch. Neibauer is the 6th pitcher ushered in by Luman Harris. During the season, he pitched only 3 innings against New York without giving up a run. Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. We go to the 9th. Gary Neibauer was in 29 games during the season. He won 1 and lost 2. Al Weiss, who came in the game in the last inning to take over second base, will lead off against the right-hander. Inside and low, it's ball 1. Neibauer worked in relief on October 2nd, the last day of the season. He's out of Scottsbluff, Nebraska. New York, 11 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. Atlanta, 6, 8, and 2. Slow ground ball, charging quickly, Clete Boyer, and he bobbles it. And Al Weiss is on, and I doubt he could have thrown him out. More like a swinging bunt. Weiss took the full swing, but the ball went very slowly toward third. And it will be an error, charged to Clete Boyer. This has been a big ball game for Tommy Agee. Tommy has been on base 4 times in 5 trips to the plate. 2 hits, a single and a 2-run homer, and 2 walks and 2 stolen bases. Swing and a foul, coming back, no play. It was an uneasy moment when Agee was stealing home with his buddy Cleon batting, and Cleon hit a line drive right over his helmet. Cleon did not see Agee coming. Well, they both settled right down, and Cleon hit a 2-run homer. Way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. A 2-run homer by Cleon eased the situation considerably. The time he hit it, the Mets were leading 9-6. In the 11 innings, the Baltimore Orioles blanked the Minnesota Twins 1-0. There goes the runner. Ground ball with a high hop to third, taken by Boyer. He guns it to Cepeda, and Agee is out. Al Weiss moves over to second. Wayne Garrett has been on 3 out of 5 trips. Wayne has a walk and 2 hits to his credit. He had 2 hits yesterday. Inside and low, it's ball 1. We'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is New York Mets Baseball on WKAJ-FM 102.3, Saratoga Springs, New York.
Swing and a foul, coming back, no play. 7 different players have knocked in the 11 runs for the Mets, and they're all out of salt against the Braves pitching staff. Foul ball coming back upstairs and no play. 1-2 on Wayne Garrett. Cleon Jones, the leader. Cleon has knocked 3 runs in. Ken Boswell and Tommy Agee have each driven in 2. Eddie Cranepool, Art Shamsky, Bud Harrelson, and Wayne Garrett have each knocked in 1. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Nybauer getting Garrett, 2 men down. Cleon has a chance to hit for the cycle if he can come up with a 3-base hit. Cleon has a single, double, and home run. 3 runs batted in. He also has drawn a walk. Ground ball on the right side of the infield, fielded by Felix Millan, the second baseman. And he throws to Cepeda. The side is out. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. At the end of 8 1/2 innings, the New York Mets 11, the Atlanta Braves 6. In the last of the 9th inning, the Atlanta Braves will have the top of their batting order facing Tug McGraw. So Felix Millan, who has done quite a job as a table setter, his job being not to get on base, he's been at 4 times and on base all 4. The pitchers of record as we go to the last of the 9th inning are Ron Taylor for New York and Ron Reed of Atlanta. The Braves have called on 6 pitchers. The Mets have used 3. Felix Millan, with 2 hits and 2 walks, has been on 4 times in a row. He will be followed by Tony Gonzalez and then Henry Aaron. Fastball up high, 1 ball and no strikes. So far in the series, both Tom Seaver and Jerry Koosman were very far from their usual sharpness. Outside and high, ball 2. And Bud Harrelson comes in from shortstop. Cal Kuntz working in the bullpen. The 2-0 delivery, up high, ball 3. McGraw quickly falling behind Felix Millan. He's a tough target at that plate. Koosman walking the first 2 times he faced him. Ball 4. So that's 5 times in a row that Felix Millan, the leadoff batter, has been on. Tug McGraw is pitching his 3rd inning of relief. He took over in the 7th. Center fielder Tony Gonzalez 0 for 3 and a walk. He had a double and a home run, drove 2 runs in yesterday. Now Tug will work off the stretch. And a ground ball up the middle, a base hit by Tony Gonzalez. And the Braves have runners on first and second, nobody out. To Millan and a single by Gonzalez. It brings up Henry Aaron. He has already done a lot of damage in this ball game with a 3-run homer. His 2nd home run in 2 days. Henry Aaron hit 44 in the regular season. He homered yesterday and he has homered today. Now the Mets have the infield looking for the double play. McGraw up in pitching position, delivers. Breaking ball at the knees, strike 1. Rico Carty is on deck, and then Orlando Cepeda. So in this spot, McGraw now must contend with the heart of the Atlanta batting order. Here's the pitch on the way. Curve is over, strike 2. Caught the inside corner to Hank Aaron. When you get Henry Aaron 2 strikes, you're only presenting him with a challenge. Now McGraw in the set position. Here's the pitch on the way. Strike 3 call. And Aaron knew it. He was fooled by the off-speed pitch to Screwball. For Tug, his first strikeout, and now Rico Carty is the hitter. Carty has 1 for 3. That was a double to the right field corner. Mets leading 11-6. The Braves are rallying here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Now Harrelson plays him a little more toward the middle of the diamond than he did Henry Aaron, as the Mets look for the DP. Pitch to Carty, inside of the letters, ball 1. He started him off with a fastball. Braves have a lot of hitting, and they roughed up Tom Seaver and Jerry Koosman. Breaking ball in at the knee is a call strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. But the Mets have had plenty of hitting in their own right in the first 2 games of the series. Winning 9-5 yesterday, they lead 11-6 at the moment. The 1-1 delivery. And a ground ball hit toward the middle. Al Weiss flips to Harrelson. 1 on to first. Double play. The game is over, and the Mets win it 11-6. So the Mets played for 2, and they got it. And Tug McGraw, as he has done so many times all year long, digs himself out of a jam in an impressive fashion. The double play going from Al Weiss to Bud Harrelson to Ed Kranepool. In the ninth inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. The final score as the Mets go 2 games up on the Atlanta Braves. The New York Mets 11 and the Atlanta Braves 6. Well, it was a 3-hour and 15-minute struggle, but a worthwhile struggle for the New York Mets. They will now be flying back to New York with a 2-game lead over the Atlanta Braves and get set for the 3rd game tomorrow at Shea Stadium at 1 p.m. with Gary Gentry on the mound against Pat Jarvis. For the recap on the slugfest today and the Mets' second win, here's Ralph.
So the Mets won the ball game by a score of 11-6. The attendance here, 50,270. First game attendance was 50,122. And the Mets now lead in this championship series by a 2-0 margin. Gary Gentry is scheduled tomorrow, and Pat Jarvis going for the Atlanta Braves. In the ball game for the Mets, Tommy Agee had a good night. 2 for 4, 1 home run, and 2 runs batted in. Wayne Garrett was 2 for 5. Cleon Jones 3 for 5 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Art Shamsky was 3 for 5. He now has 6 hits and 9 times up in the 2 games. He also drove in a run. And Ken Boswell got a home run. He was 1 for 5 in the game. For the Atlanta Braves, the big man on base was Felix Mayon. He was on all 5 times. He walked 3 times and was 2 for 2. And Hank Aaron had a home run, his second in the series, and 3 runs batted in his 1 for 5. The line score of the ball game, the New York Mets 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 error, 10 men left on base. Atlanta 6 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors, and 8 men left on base.
New York Mets Baseball has been a feature presentation of the New York Mets Baseball Network and Rheingold Extra Dry, the beer with a 10-minute head, and was brought to you by several local sports-minded businessmen who hope you have enjoyed today's game, and by the staff of WKAJ-FM 102.3 on your FM dial, who urge you to patronize the sponsors who make these broadcasts possible. Remember, you can hear all the New York Mets games at home or away, night and day, on the FM voice of WKAJ Radio in Saratoga Springs, New York. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.